taking to the streets of Perth today to find out the majority's opinion and views on whether Australia should have an independent inquiry into the Iraq invasion. As we've seen in the past with the UK inquiry, there's been some interesting debates and information that's come to light whether the whole thing should have even taken place in the first place. So it'll be interesting to see what Perth has to say.
You know, those civilisations have been under dictatorship, for want of a better expression, and been governed in that manner for generations, for millennia. And I don't think it's the US or Australia or the UK's right to go in there and destroy a country on the flawed basis of that there were weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, I don't think there was any. I mean, there is need for some things, but I don't think there was any need for that.
I think it turned out that the intelligence was wrong.
Yes.
I think most of us thought it was a bit dodgy at the time. But if you look at our history, wherever the US goes, we go. So I wasn't surprised that we went.
It's incumbent upon all of us who love freedom to understand the new world in which we live. John Howard understands that.
We are seeing a lot of politicians, particularly Tony Blair, in this period talking about how that war was perhaps a mistake, and since Australia did go into that war, we should also be held accountable for what happened there.
And should Australia follow suit and have their own independent inquiry and find out why we made the decisions we've made and why we got involved?
Yeah. I would say most countries should look at things independently.
Yes, definitely. I think there was a lot of people killed that didn't need to be.
A thorough investigation should be carried out, I believe. Yeah. And a thorough investigation probably should be carried out before any of these actions are done in the first place.
I think it depends on the scope of the inquiry and what the intended outcome would be. If we're just going to follow down the same track as the UK, then no, I wouldn't think so.
I think it's pretty clear what happened. Howard was just going along with the bigger allies, the US and Britain, so I'm not sure if there's much point in wasting money on an inquiry.
No, because I think we know why.
We know why?
Because we were doing it because we're just doing whatever the US told us to do.
Absolutely. I think we have a lot to learn from situations like those. I think an inquiry would be good also to see whether, the war is ongoing, so I think we do have a lot to learn, and perhaps an inquiry is the best way to go about it.
Well, Perth, you've had your say, and it seems like the majority are saying that maybe there is a need for an inquiry and there should be some thought in future before we go into a coalition-led war. Bas Tadros, Undercurrent.